It empowers you to say no when something doesn't align with your values, even if it means disappointing others. Think about the person who's invited to an event where they know they'll be treated poorly or made to feel like they don't belong. In the past, they may have gone, hoping to fit in or make others happy. But now, they know better. Now they understand that their time and energy are too valuable to waste on anything that diminishes their self-worth. So they say no. They choose themselves, and that choice is an expression of their self-respect. When you respect yourself, you stop giving others the power to define your worth. You no longer rely on external validation or approval to feel good about yourself. Think of a person who's constantly seeking praise, constantly looking for others to affirm their abilities or appearance. They live for the next compliment or like, never feeling truly fulfilled. But the moment they decide that their validation comes from within, everything changes. Their self-respect becomes a shield against the world's judgment. It doesn't matter if someone praises them or criticizes them, because they know who they are and they know their worth. When you respect yourself, you don't need to chase love, success, or approval. These things come naturally because the energy you give off is one of confidence, peace, and strength. You attract people who appreciate you for who you are, not because you've sought them out, but because you've shown the world that you value yourself enough to not settle for anything less than the best. Self-respect is magnetic. It draws people and opportunities to you because it is rooted in the understanding that you are enough, just as you are. Ultimately, self-respect becomes your superpower because it unlocks a life where you no longer seek permission to be who you are. It gives you the courage to live authentically, to speak your truth, and to never settle for anything that doesn't honor your worth. When you respect yourself, you are unstoppable. You are a force of nature. And there is nothing, absolutely nothing, that can stand in your way. When you become magnetic, you shift from being someone who is constantly seeking validation to someone who naturally attracts people, opportunities, and success. It's the kind of energy that cannot be faked because it comes from a deep, unshakable self-awareness and confidence. It's not about looking for admiration or approval. It's about cultivating an energy that draws everything you want directly to you. People are drawn to your authenticity, your strength, your unwavering belief in yourself. You stop chasing. You stop begging for attention. And suddenly the world starts noticing you, not because you're trying to get their attention, but because your energy is undeniable. Imagine a woman walking into a room full of people. She's not the loudest or the flashiest person in the room, but there's something about her that grabs everyone's attention. It's not her clothes or her outward appearance, but the way she carries herself. She's at peace with who she is. She walks with confidence, speaks with purpose, and every movement she makes exudes self-respect. People can't help but be drawn to her because she's radiating an energy that says, I know my worth. She's magnetic because she's not seeking validation from anyone else. She's already validated herself. That magnetic energy isn't something you can fake. It's the result of years of believing in your own value, of choosing yourself before anyone else. Let's take another example. A person who has spent their life constantly looking for approval from others. They find themselves in situations where they try to please people, whether it's their boss, their friends, or even strangers, because they crave external validation. But as soon as they stop trying to win others over and start focusing on being true to themselves, everything shifts. They stop worrying about what others think of them. They stop seeking approval. And in turn, they start attracting people who appreciate them for who they truly are. They become magnetic, not because they're seeking it, but because their energy is now authentic. Their presence, no longer dependent on others, becomes a beacon for people who value authenticity and confidence. The magnetic power of self-assurance shows up in your daily life too. Think of someone in a social setting, perhaps a dinner party or gathering. At first they're quiet, reserved, just observing. They're not trying to make an impression. They're simply present. But as the night progresses, people begin to gravitate toward them. Not because they're trying to be the center of attention, but because their quiet strength is magnetic. They don't chase the spotlight comes to them. It's the power of being centered in yourself. People are drawn to the energy of someone who is not trying to be something they're not. There's a magnetic quality to that authenticity. This magnetism doesn't just apply to social situations, it also translates into your career. Think of someone who has been working tirelessly in a job, doing everything right, but never receiving the recognition they deserve. Now imagine that person decides to stop seeking approval, to stop pushing themselves to get noticed. Instead, they focus on doing their work with passion, excellence, and integrity. They stop trying to impress others and instead impress themselves. What happens? They start to attract opportunities. People notice them not because they're trying to climb the ladder, but because they've become so good at what they do that they stand out effortlessly. Their magnetic energy isn't about forcing success. It's about letting their work and their passion speak for themselves. This magnetic energy also applies in relationships. Many people chase after love, seeking someone to validate their worth or to fill a void. But the moment you stop chasing, something incredible happens. You start attracting the right people, not those who want to change you, not those who want to control you, but people who appreciate you exactly as you are. The more you focus on loving yourself and valuing your own happiness, the more others are drawn to your light. This magnetism is powerful. It doesn't come from neediness or desperation. It comes from being in alignment with who you are and what you want. When you no longer chase love, love finds you naturally. The true magic happens when you realize that magnetism isn't about changing who you are to fit someone's expectations. It's about fully embracing who you are and letting the world come to you. You stop playing small to fit in and you start stepping into your power, unapologetically. This transformation doesn't happen overnight. But when it does, you'll notice how much more you attract without even trying. The right people will gravitate toward you. Opportunities will present themselves in ways you never imagined. And most importantly, you'll find that your life begins to shift in ways that feel aligned with your true purpose, because you've stopped chasing and started being the person you were always meant to be. People who are magnetic don't beg for attention. They don't hustle for recognition. They simply show up as their authentic selves, knowing that they are enough, just as they are. That magnetic energy you carry is a reflection of your belief in your own worth, and the world can feel it. So, if you want to be magnetic, stop trying to win others over. Focus on being the best version of yourself. Live authentically, unapologetically, and most importantly, trust that the right people, opportunities, and successes will find you when you stop chasing and start being. When you learn to love yourself more than anyone else, you unlock a healing power that is beyond anything you've ever experienced. The pain you feel whether emotional or physical, doesn't hold you back. When you begin to truly nurture yourself, something incredible happens. You heal faster. It's not about ignoring the pain or pretending it doesn't exist, but instead understanding that you have the power to heal yourself from within. Imagine a person who has been through the most heart-wrenching breakup of their life. For weeks, they are consumed by sorrow, bitterness, and self-doubt. But then, something shifts. Instead of clinging to their grief, they turn inward. They take the time to reconnect with themselves. They start practicing self-love, whether it's through affirmations, journaling, meditation, or simply taking care of their physical health. As they focus on their own well-being, they begin to realize that their worth is not defined by the relationship they lost. The healing process begins not because the pain goes away immediately, but because they are no longer relying on someone else to validate their existence. They begin to heal faster because they've found a way to soothe their own heart, to comfort themselves without needing external sources of reassurance. Take the example of someone recovering from a traumatic event. They may feel scarred, both mentally and emotionally. But what if they stop blaming themselves or others for the situation? What if instead they focused on understanding their emotions and learning to love themselves through it? The healing process would be completely different. They would no longer feel stuck in the pain, but rather they would feel empowered by their ability to rise above it. Every time they choose self-love over self-pity, they move one step closer to healing. And over time, this process becomes easier. The more they give themselves the space to heal, the faster they recover. Consider someone who has been carrying the weight of past mistakes, feeling guilt and regret that they can't shake off. They may believe they don't deserve forgiveness, that they must punish themselves for what they've done. But when they start to practice self-compassion, when they begin to forgive themselves, something shifts. Healing happens because they stop holding on to their past. They let go of the story they've been telling themselves about their mistakes. When you learn to love yourself, you begin to break free from the chains of your past, allowing yourself to heal at a pace that would have seemed impossible before. The road to recovery doesn't seem so long anymore because you've found peace within yourself. It's the same with physical health. When you're sick or injured, the physical pain is undeniable. But how you treat yourself during recovery can dramatically affect how quickly you heal. Imagine someone who is recovering from an injury, whether it's a broken bone or a serious illness. They could focus solely on the discomfort and frustration of being unable to do things the way they did before. Or they could focus on nourishing their body with proper nutrition, exercising gently when possible, and giving themselves the grace to rest when needed. In this process, healing happens not just on a physical level, but on an emotional one as well. When you practice self-love, you show up for yourself. You take care of your body, not out of obligation, but out of a deep love and respect for it. And in turn, your body responds by healing faster. A person who truly understands their worth doesn't just accept the pain as something to endure. They see it as something temporary, something they have the power to move through. The ability to heal faster comes from a place of inner strength, a place that says, I am worthy of peace and recovery. So they understand that their body and mind are resilient. When you love yourself, you stop seeing healing as a battle. Instead, you see it as a process that you can actively participate in by caring for yourself in a way that allows the pain to pass more swiftly. The key here is that self-love doesn't mean you'll never experience pain or hardship. It simply means that when those challenges arise, you have the strength and resilience to face them head on. You give yourself permission to heal. You understand that you're not defined by your scars, and you no longer allow the weight of your past experiences to hinder your recovery. By choosing to heal through self-love, you create a powerful force field around yourself that accelerates the process. Healing, whether emotional, mental, or physical, is a journey, but it becomes a much easier one when you're walking it with love. When you stop seeking validation, when you stop giving away your power to external circumstances, you start the most profound healing process possible. In this journey of life, you will face moments that challenge you, test your strength, and break you down. And unfortunately, a complete journey and encompass all your creation. In the moment you prepare yourself for the challenge in your life, but I want you to understand one thing. Nothing, absolutely nothing in this world has the power to break you unless you let it. You are the architect of your life, and your greatest power lies in the ability to rise again and again, no matter how many times life knocks you down. Your story is not about the pain you've endured. It's about the strength you found within yourself to overcome it. You see, when you learn to love yourself more than anyone else, you discover an inner power that no one can take away from you. It's a power that comes from knowing that no matter the circumstances, you are worthy of all the love, success, and happiness this world has to offer. It's a power that comes from understanding that you are the key to your own healing, your own happiness, and your own success. The road to greatness is never easy. But let me tell you this. Greatness isn't defined by how many times you succeed. It's defined by how many times you rise after you fall. It's about the strength to get up, dust yourself off, and keep moving forward, even when it feels impossible. Every setback, every challenge, every heartbreak is simply a stepping stone on your path to becoming the best version of yourself. So when life tries to pull you down, remember that you have the power to stand tall, to push forward, and to shine brighter than ever before. Don't let anyone or anything define your worth. The only person who gets to decide your value is you. Never let the opinions or judgments of others sway you from the truth of who you are. You are not defined by your mistakes. You are not defined by your past. You are defined by your willingness to rise above, to keep moving, and to love yourself fiercely in the process. This world will try to make you believe that you need external validation, that you need someone else's approval to feel worthy. But I'm here to tell you that the only approval you need is your own. You are enough, just as you are. And when you truly believe that, when you truly embrace that truth, everything in your life will begin to change. The people you attract, the opportunities that come your way, the love you give and receive. Everything will shift. You will no longer be chasing after approval. You will no longer be seeking validation. Instead, you will be magnetic. You will become the person that others are naturally drawn to. Not because you need them to love you, but because you love yourself fully and unconditionally. The moment you realize that you are enough, that you are worthy, that you are powerful, is the moment your life transforms. You stop chasing love because you've already found it within yourself. You stop seeking external sources of happiness because you've discovered that happiness comes from within. You stop playing small because you know that you were born for greatness. Now, I want you to take a moment to look inside yourself. Ask yourself, am I ready to step into my power? Am I ready to embrace who I truly am and love myself unconditionally? The answer, I hope, is a resounding yes. Because the world is waiting for you. The world is waiting for you to show up, to stand tall, to be unapologetically you. There is no one else in this world like you. Your story, your gifts, your voice, they are unique and they are needed. So go out there and claim what is rightfully yours. Love yourself fiercely. Stand in your power and never let anyone or anything dim your light. You are destined for greatness. You are capable of achieving the unimaginable. You are a force to be reckoned with. And when you truly begin to understand your worth, the world will have no choice but to recognize it too. Remember, you are not a product of your circumstances. You are a product of your mindset. You are a product of your belief in yourself. And when you believe in yourself fully and completely, nothing is impossible. The future belongs to those who believe in themselves. The future belongs to those who choose to love themselves first. And if you take one thing away from today, let it be this. You are enough. You always have been, and you always will be. Your greatest power lies in your ability to love yourself, to heal yourself, and to rise to every challenge life throws your way. Keep going, keep growing, and keep shining, because the world needs you.